want to do it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Are we on? Are we on? Oh, hi, everyone. Welcome to Doosra.
Oh, God. Everyone's disappointed.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Life isn't all ha ha he he, and we learned that the hard way today.
Yeah.
The
only ha-ha we had was during the toss time. Like, after the toss, everything just went off. I mean, just disappointed.
We were so pumped after the toss. Oh, Virat's won the toss. Virat's won the toss. La, 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 la. Right? All of that. And then it quickly went down. Okay, listen. Before we get to you guys, this is Fan Doosra. This is where the fans speak about the day of cricket that we just had. Of course, it was day one in Leeds. This is the third test of the 5-test series of England versus India. Now we've established that. Let's just catch up with the guys at the ground first. Let's do this. Let's cross over to Leeds. The guys are there. The play was just about to end, and we caught the reaction of the guys who were watching it at Headingley.
Good evening from day one at Headingley, and what a day. After the drama of the last day of Lords, we turned up here, won the toss, picked the same side. Actually, what went wrong?
Well, listen, I think if we could write down what the worst possible day could be for India, it's happened today. And for me, you know, if we go on to lose the game, so be it, 1-1. But for me, the damage is far more than that, and that's the damage done up here. First of all, for England, I think their backs were against the wall. You know, we were all over them in the series, and they've got loads and loads of confidence now going into the rest of the game, but even more importantly, going through the rest of the series and getting out, you know, all out for 77 or whatever it was. That will do a lot of damage to our batting lineup as well. A confident batting lineup coming into this test would be in pieces. So it will take, you know, strong mentality to come back from this and pick yourself up.
Yeah. Raf, let's just assume that, you know, today's out of the way. What can we hope for tomorrow?
I think obviously we've got to try and keep this lead to as a lead as minimum as possible. They've just taken the lead, so I think we've got to try and go through them. We've got to try and get the ball swinging because we've not really managed that. Yeah. England bowled really, really well, and I think that now we're obviously chasing the game and trying to get whatever result out of this that we can. But it's not over yet. Yeah. There's still a lot of cricket to be played, and hopefully we can take something out of this. Bat much better in the second innings, because going into the rest of the series you need momentum, and England have now taken that momentum from Lord's day 5, and they've now seized that momentum. So it's up to us to now take that momentum back.
Yeah, listen, let's still believe a little bit. Last time England played here against Australia, they got bowled out for 60 odd and still ended up winning the match, right? It was one of the best test matches I've ever seen personally. Yeah. Can we hope still a little bit? Can we believe a little bit still, Akshay?
Listen, you know, cricket and sport, strange things happen. Anything, and we've seen miracles time and time again. So there's 5 days to play. A lot of cricket left in the test, so you just never know.
All right, well, that's the end of day one from the third test. We still believe. Come on, India.
Come on, boys.
Let's just call it how it is. I don't think they do really believe. You heard it. Come on, India. It was very subdued in the come on, India compared to when we were actually doing well. Secondly, I think we're hoping. We're not believing. We're hoping. It's very different because we won the toss. It's a sunny day. It's a brand new, start of a brand new test match, and those guys I think were quite. Well, they were quite defensive in a way over the way India played. Let's call it as it is. Sanchit, I'm going to start with you. What happened? Why did we collapse? That's one of the worst performances we've ever seen. What happened? Just analyze it for me from your point of view, and then we'll go through the other guys in a second.
Well, to be honest, it was completely anticlimactic after what happened on the 5th day at Lords. I mean, we all were pumped up before the start of the game, and as you rightly said, the toss indeed worked in our favor. But what happened from the first over onwards, it was like life kicking you in your guts. Like it is giving you the reality check that all you want. It is not a fairy tale like everyone wants it to be. So it was really heartbreaking to see how we batted, to be honest. I know that in retrospective, if we retrospect now, people would say, "Arey, we should have bowled first after winning the toss." I mean, it is easier for us to say that, but to be very honest, even if you look at it objectively, I do feel that batting first was the right choice given the weather conditions that they were there, and batting first is normally our strength. And to be fair, we backed our strength to bat first and bat England out of the game by scoring a huge score. But I don't think that the wicket. I don't. First of all, I don't really believe that any cricketing pitch warrants 78 as an acceptable score. So even if it's a dead, even if it's like a ranked turner, I don't feel 78 should be an acceptable score on any kind of surface. So I really feel what really let us down was how we batted, except for one or two dismissal, like Pujara got an unplayable delivery like he always does in the last 1 or 2 years, and also to an extent the one that got Jadeja. Apart from that, I don't really see any deliveries making a threatful cost to our batsmen. I do feel we were quite casual in the way how we batted, especially how we tried to take on Jimmy Anderson while driving him when the ball was swinging almost 2.8 to 3 degrees on the first day. So it was really an odd tactic. I know that there were a couple of instances where we felt that the ball was there to be driven, but it's Jimmy Anderson. I think we should have been a little bit more cautious in the first session, and we just completely collapsed in the second session. And it's really hard. I'm not able to put it into words, but what happened when England came on to bat, they gave us a teaching that the wicket is not that bad as we looked it to be. So the way how their openers batted, I think that was the way how we should have batted. So it's really looking like a huge mountain to climb.
Right, we're getting a lot of comments in as well. I'm going to come to those comments in a moment, but I just want to hear from my guys here. Kunal and Sanika, let's go to you guys next. I don't think, even with hindsight, we shouldn't have done anything different. Virat winning the toss, we would still bat. Anyone in their right mind on a day like today would have bat. That wasn't a bad call from him.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if we should have gone for bowling, and I think the whole point is, I could have defended our batsmen if England batsmen would have toppled as well. They did well. They knew how to bat, and it's not like the conditions changed over the course of time. Like by the time India got out, the weather changed, and that's why they could bat easy. I don't think that happened at all. Pitch might have become a little bit easier to bat, but still, that's still not justified. Like Sanchit said, 78 all out is not justified on any pitch, and even on a ranked turn as well. Secondly, I feel a few wickets are just typical. The commentary is also that repetitive. I remember playing Cricket 07 and the commentators, just saying the same commentary. He got out in that fashion. That's how every test match, every innings, that has been the same kind of wicket. It's really disappointing. I'm not even talking about specifically. Let's talk about Virat. Typical the cover drive, edge and taken. Rohit Sharma setting really, really well. It feels like he's going for a big one, and then he has to go for a pull shot or a hook shot, and he just suddenly gets out. It's really weird the way it's like history repeating every innings. And I don't know, it's like some people would blame Rohit because it'll be you were set, you should have batted more sensibly. Yes, but then at the same time, other batsmen are not scoring any. Rohit was the one who actually survived for 100 balls. Rahane survived for 50 deliveries. But then again, they also have to be blamed. You survived that long, you are set, you have to play more maturely. But at the same time, the other batsmen are just not scoring runs. It's disappointing. A few wickets, yes, I feel Jadeja's wicket was really a good delivery over there. But then just disappointing. 78 all down is not justified at all.
I guess we can say that their bowlers played much well, and in last test, on the last day, they were attacking the batsman, they were attacking Bumrah. This time they just kept in mind that we don't want to attack, we want to take their wicket. So that was,
and maybe we were a little bit overconfident. That also might have added up to it, and England were hurt. Apne home pay they got thrashed at Lord's. So they were with that kind of a killer instinct. That also might have added up. A lot of things might have added up. And there's a comment over here. I'm not sure if that's factually backed. But then I saw Arun Pandey is mentioning, I support Kohli, never want to question him, but can't truly defend him anymore. 50 innings since last 100. Is that actually backed, Nitish?
Yeah. So actually, 50 innings combining 18 innings test, 21 something in one days and 17 innings something in T20. So that makes 56 in total, I guess.
Including IPL?
No, T20 internationals, I guess.
Oh,
right.
That's
actually,
okay.
And Nitish, while I've got you on, what do you think from what Kunal said?
Okay, so
the complacency of the last test, was that a factor, or was this a brilliant England, a brilliant Anderson, a brilliant Robinson, and they just knew. Because don't forget, we lost the toss as well. You know, we were forced to bowl, you know, in the last test, and that's where we kind of smashed them up. You know, we kind of made the same mistakes. You're right, Kunal. It's not any history repeating itself. It's recent history repeating itself.
Yeah, so you have made 3 points. First, I'd like to add to Kunal's point here first, that he mentioned that we won the match previously at Lords and then we collapsed. Same happened, I'm going back to 2014. Same happened there. First match, Trent Bridge, it was a draw. Second match, it was at Lords and we won it under Dhoni's captaincy. And then we lost next 3 test matches. So are we going on the same path? It seems right now, that's the same thing. Yes. Okay, number 2 point you made, that bowling, you know, credits to the England bowling attack. See, if you recall the very first over of Jimmy Anderson, the first of the match, first ball was an outswinger which went for a single, then couple of 3, I would say, in swingers, then he got one outswinger and he got KL Rahul out, and I don't know why he just played that shot. He shouldn't have done that. So he was ready with the plan. They knew that India is very much confident. I won't say overconfident, but yes, they were confident enough that yes, we can get some good total. Our openers are scoring. So they played according to the plan, and that backfired.
Yeah.
Third point you made, but I just forgot that what you said there. But yes, I'll add 1 point here in this one. See, India right now, as Sanchit mentioned, that toss, the batting first was the right option. I just want to hint it. Maybe I'll be wrong as well. We could have bowled as well. Why? England batting is already under pressure. They, you know, our bowlers were at top. You know, the confidence was sky high. Everybody was celebrating. And on the other side, England batting, it was struggling. They made a couple of changes to the squad. Right, and they brought Hamid up and number 3 David Malan. So they were already under confidence. So we could have tried that. Of course, I know it's easier said than done. But yes, we could have tried that angle as well. We are pretty confident that our batting is good. But if we could have, you know, tried to give England a chance to bat first, as they were already under pressure, so maybe things would have been different. But yes, 78 is, I know, it's pathetic. I would say the word is.
So, in your opinion, what caused us to crumble, though? What caused that crumble? Because if we're saying, yeah, okay, we know Anderson's dangerous, there was nothing new. We know Anderson's got it. We know Ollie Robinson's got it.
Outside of stump, first over, 4th delivery. Yeah. Why you are touching balls? See, it's a repetition of the pattern. Kohli is getting dismissed in the same way. Rohit Sharma is getting dismissed the same way. Absolutely same way. Rahane. See, okay, he played 50 odd deliveries, but 18, you can put 18. Rohit Sharma survived 100 deliveries, you managed 19, that is justified enough. But what other batsmen are doing? Chiteshwar Pujara, I know that yes, he is a great batsman, whatever he's doing, but okay, he was meant to be the next Rahul Dravid. Rahul Dravid used to play 300 deliveries or maybe 400 deliveries, but he used to score runs as well. I don't remember that he got out on 10s or 19s. Either he used to get out on single digits or he used to make a big one. That was the simple Dravid factor. So I don't know. I'm very disappointed with the team. Why are you touching balls outside of stump? Why? Come on, you are playing.
Nitish, adding to this, I mean, actually, Sunil Gavaskar was in the commentary box when Harsha Bhogale asked him the same question. Like, you know, we always hear this thing, you know, do not play, do not fish outside the offs or something like that. So don't do that. So why are the batsmen still doing that? So that's when Gavaskar mentioned that, you know, the credit has to go to Anderson as well for tempting them to try to go for a shot. So that was one thing which he mentioned.
Yeah, in
yeah, but even Harsha Bhogale also said, I mean, he's Virat Kohli. He's not like someone who doesn't know what Anderson is doing. He's Virat Kohli, he's Rohit. Still, why are they doing it? So that's when he mentioned that, you know, to some extent it's Anderson's credit, but lack of temperament as well.
The classic example is Sachin's 241 not out at Sydney. That is the classical example of how not to play weakness. You know, just leave it alone. He did not even play a single cover shot in the 241.
Even Gavaskar will mention this. I mean, if you really want, give a call to SRT. So yeah, he even mentioned that on the live as well. Like, call Sachin Tendulkar and get tips from him.
Sanchit, what were you going to add to that about being lured into those outswinging balls?
Yes, so Nitish actually made the point that I was trying to make. I was going to refer to the 2004 Sydney Classic from SRT. I do feel that the modern generation batsmen, they just have an inner instinct to just go for the shots because of the modern brand of playing cricket. So you can't. I mean, is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I mean, if it's on a day like Gabba, you might praise the technique and the instincts, but if it's the days like this when you just have to be in your shell and just survive the good deliveries, I mean, it could backfire also. So it could go either way. But to be very honest, I feel we should have at least been a little bit more cautious in the first session. It's a knowing the threat of Anderson and the other bowlers. I mean, yes, they are not doing anything different. I mean, we know what kind of a threat that their bowlers possess. It is not something that they are doing. They're not doing anything related to a rocket science or anything like that. We know what they're going to bowl. We know how they are going to bowl at us, but still we get ended up getting out in similar fashion. So it is really disappointing, even as a fan, when you see those first 5 dismissal. It was basically like copy paste, as Varnata in the comment section was saying. I mean, there was nothing threatening, to be very honest, in almost all the dismissal that they were there in the top order. So it was really, as a fan, it's really disappointing to see that, and I'm really not sure how we could come back into this game. I really hope that we do have a good second and third day. I mean, yes, it is going to be great conditions for batting, but it's really looking it's really not looking good for us at this moment.
Okay, question for you then, Sanjit. Do we have an inconsistent side, or is this just world-class cricket, and at this level, it's operating on such a fine level of brilliance on all levels, from our side and England's, that actually that little bit of movement means someone can have a really great day and someone can have a really bad day? We've seen it happen for England and for India now. So is this something to be worried about, or is this just the way the game goes?
To be very honest, I think it's a mix of both. I mean, to be honest, these kind of collapses are not that uncommon with Indian cricket, and it is not just restricted to Test cricket. I mean, we have seen such collapses happen in the limited overs format as well. Even that unnamed game in 2019 semi-final, which we don't like to talk about, we had a similar collapse in that game also. So I really feel that it's a mix of both. Yes, England played really good brand of cricket today. The same criticism that we did for them on day 5th of Lords, how they bowled from an emotional point of view rather than bowling practically to the situation. I think they bowled really, really superbly today morning. They kept targeting the 4th and 5th stump. That's the way how you bowl in these conditions, and Anderson exploited that really well, and that actually set them up really well. So I remember we had a conversation just in the podcast, which side will be benefiting the 10 days gap really more, whether India would be happy with the 10 days gap or whether England. So it is clear that the 10 days gap did work in the favor of the host team, because they got their minds clear. They knew what kind of mistakes that they did on 5th day of Lords, and they rectified it really well. So I think that you have to give credits to England as well. I know I'm being really diplomatic, but there is no other way to it. I mean, we really played poorly in our batting, but the way England batted, I really feel that's how we should have approached our innings. So it was really disappointing from our batting, and I'm not going to blame the bowlers. I know that 120 for 0 on day 1 is really not a good looking scoreboard, but I really feel that if we had enough runs on the board at the end of Stumps, so that this wouldn't have happened. It's all a game of momentum, so I really don't want to blame too much on the bowlers, but really disappointed with the batting efforts.
Tommy, I think you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Tommy, you're on mute. Yeah.
Sorry, because I'm coughing as well. I'm a bit hay fevery today, although it looks like I'm emotional as well. It looks like I'm just annoyed at all the cricket I've been watching today. But Goldie says, what did I say? Pujara should have been dropped. Ridiculous batting. Should we have dropped Pujara, Kunal?
I think drop. So again, the question has to be like, is he going to survive till 2023 in a good form? I mean, the kind of decision that Indian team took with Gambhir and let's say Harbhajan Singh after the 2011 Cup, they were dropped for the 2015 Cup. They had to make way for Dhawan, Shikhar Dhawan and Jadeja, a young batch mainly. So even Sehwag were not really pushed as much because the 2013 Champions Trophy was there. Shikhar Dhawan was the opener. So I think that has to be the focus. I mean, if you're going for Pujara, back him up till the very final as well, if he reaches the final, obviously. But then if you're not, then there's no point in having him till the very end and then suddenly dropping him. So I kind of liked what Dhoni did after the 2019 Cup. He knew he's not surviving till 2023. So he immediately stepped out, made way, because we have 4 more years to train a batsman who can be a keeper, finisher, and DRS expert as well. So I think that's something that we should focus on. If Pujara, so the management has to decide, is Pujara going to last or is it the end of Pujara? I trust Pujara. I mean, he is a trusted batsman. But then, like you mentioned, he has to score runs. That's the main concern. It was weird when we lost the World Test Championship final and Virat mentioned some batsmen need to show intent. And some people assume that it is targeted towards Pujara not scoring the runs. So if that's the case, then it's really weird to have him on the side as well. So if you want batsman with intent, then go for someone new. It can be I think Arun Pandya has mentioned very nicely. It's a big concern to think that we are going to have a big middle order revolution after this series. I would really want that. I mean, Rahane, Pujara, they're good, they're really great, they're legends. But then if there's a proper revamp, it might actually work well in our favor.
Okay, we want to see a revamp. So look at that. From only 9 days ago saying how we've got this amazing invincible squad. I'm just saying, I'm not knocking your comment at all, Kunal. What I'm saying is this full circle that we're now feeling, Nitish, is this cause for concern, or is it at a time like this where Virat needs to kind of actually stick with his 11 and go, no. I've got my eye on a longer game plan here. And yes, we're going to get these bad days across 5 test matches. We just got to ride it out. What would you do, Nitish? What would be your tactic?
Okay, so if you ask me again, so in the previous match as well, I mentioned, see, it was just one innings that both survived for Rahane scored a 50 and he scored 45, Pujara. But if we talk about since 2020, as I mentioned earlier as well, since 2020, these two guys have not even managed to get 600 on the board, and they have played 20 plus innings so far. So if you are considered as a legend for the team or the mainstay of the middle order, I think that's not good enough. And 20 innings for such huge caliber players, I think it's too much. I won't say just drop them immediately, but they should be given a deadline. There should be a deadline to those batsmen that do something. Because see, it's not like that we don't have talent, or we are not Pakistan, that we are not finding good players. We have lots and lots of talent. We see, a couple of months ago when we were touring Sri Lanka, we were sky high that we have 3 teams, we can beat any team around the world. What happened in Sri Lanka? Everybody knows that. What's happening here? What happened at the World Test Championship final? We know that. So we just cannot go on the same thing which we already know. We have to take some major steps. If one more match, just try them. But I really don't see. Sky is there. You can try him. Yes, Sanchit, you want to add something?
Yeah, I would just like to add on this. So I know that the position, the number 3, 4, and 5 have been quite a concern for us over the recent years or so, especially from 2020. But do we really have a quality replacement for them? I know that number 3, you might debate about certain players making their way in. Maybe even if Shubman Gill comes back into the 11, we could have someone like KL Rahul back at 3. I mean, there are lots of options, but at some point, even you have to agree that the domestic cricket in India hasn't been that active since the pandemic began. I mean, even the Ranji Trophy got cancelled, and we haven't actually explored the domestic circuit as well to scout for the future replacement of them. So we are still with the same bunch of players which were there before the pandemic. So I really don't see us having those potential long-term replacement as of now in this squad. But I really agree with both of you that we really do need a middle order revamp, to be very honest. Especially, I feel not both. I don't think both of them would be dropped at the end of this series.
Yeah.
I feel it's going to be either one of them. So, but at this moment, I feel it's going to be Pujara, because he's our number 3 batsman, and beat any test cricket team, your number 3 has to be there to score runs. And since that Sydney Test 100 that he got in 2019, Pujara average is only close to 32, and even his strike rate dropped from 50 in 2019 to almost close to 28, 29 in the recent years. So it's like he's not even scoring those big amount of runs, but he's not even rotating the strike as well. So it's really, I feel it's going to be really a tough future for Pujara in this World Test Championship cycle. So I feel it's going to be...
Aaron is saying this. Aaron goes, this is the first time ever that India have had no player reaching 20 in the first innings of a test match. Look, it's poor. It was heartbreaking. It was a tough watch today. Let's move on to tomorrow. We know what's got to happen. We got to start taking some wickets. But how is that going to happen? Do we have it in us to make that happen? Kunal and Sanika.
Before we start, I want to tell Sanchit, please come on the pre-show.
Yeah, we need some rains right now. We need some rains, Sanchit. But not now. I still trust Indian team. I still feel we are going to bounce back. I mean, there was a comment over here that we have made one of the best comebacks ever. And the kind of the fact what I love about this team is they won't just give up. Like one day they're going back in. Ravi Shastri would be the first one to tell them fight and win it. And that's the kind of the brand of cricket that they've been playing. So they tomorrow on field, not a single player would have an approach. The match is gone. Let's go for a draw. Even now they might be hoping. Let's go. If we get them out early, we have 3 more days left, and we can actually manage to score runs and put them under pressure. So that's something I really love about this team. And I feel there's Siraj, there's Bumrah, there's really good bowling. And even if 1 wicket drops, Virat is going to chew them off, and Rishabh Pant as well. So there's a lot of pressure as well. And obviously the Bharat Army is going to chant as well. So I feel tomorrow the tide might turn around.
I want to say hi to Venkatesh, who's saying, what about Kohli? His average is less than both Rahane and Pujara since 2020. Yeah, we touched on that at the start as well. And we had a lot of questions around that. You can rewind back and watch the show and hear our comments on Kohli. Final word from you, Nitish, as well then now, ahead of tomorrow. Should we be watching? Should we just wait for Leeds to end and now focus on the next test?
No.
Is it too early to throw this one away? Is there any optimism left in Nitish? That's what people want to know.
Yes, absolutely. I'm pretty much optimistic. Yes, I understand we registered our 3rd lowest total in England, but no worries. 1 hour in the morning is very, very important. If you get a couple of wickets or maybe 3 wickets or Joe Root as early as possible, I think it will be. See, anything closer to 100, 150, the lead, I'm saying, I think the match can go to the distance and we can still win it because we still do have a very good batting lineup. Nothing taking away from them. It was just a bad day. Anything can happen. 36 Adelaide also happened and we bounced back. Yeah. So we have to learn from the history as in 2014, whatever happened, we do not have to repeat that. We have to learn from mistakes. And I think it is pretty much in our favor still. I'm pretty much confident we can win it.
We're a great side. We know that. We've seen the brilliance. We just now need to see it in action at Leeds.
Let's
guys,
get the positivity back.
Yeah, what the
let's all have a good night's sleep. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you to Varnatha, Goldie, and all these comments that are coming through. Everyone who's messaging across our social media. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow just before play starts. To have our to capture all the optimism that we would have generated overnight and put it into the show and put it out into the universe. So join us tomorrow morning and we'll catch you then. Guys, thank you all very, very much. And until tomorrow, I'll catch you later. See you guys.
Bye-bye.